starting with 2 cups of masko dal or urad dal. You may know that as black lentils. To that I'm adding half a cup of rice. I'm taking brown rice, but you can use any white rice. And to that I'm going to add about 7 cups of warm water and let this sit out for at least a couple of hours. So after a couple of hours, I'm taking a large zucchini and I'm going to use the finest holes of the grater to kind of grate this into very thin slices. And I'm going to drain out the water after it's been soaked for a couple of hours, and I'm going to take that mixture into a blender. And because my blender is quite small, I'm going to do this in 2 batches. So I'm going to put half a batch here. And to that I'm adding a couple of tablespoons of ginger paste, about 3 teaspoons of cumin seeds, and a pinch of Asafoetida powder and salt to taste. So, and I just want to add a little bit of water just to make this blend smoothly. And then I'm gonna put the lid on and let this blend until everything is a smooth paste. So you're gonna get something like this. It's a very smooth paste. I'm gonna pour it out in a bowl, and I'm gonna take the rest of my dal and rice mixture and blend it in the blender as well, and mix everything together in the large bowl. So here I have everything mixed together. This is still a pretty thick batter. We want this to be thinner, but before we add anything else, I'm going to add the zucchini that we grated earlier into this. Let's give this a mix. And as you can see, this is still a pretty thick batter. So I'm going to add just a little bit of water at a time. I don't want to add too much. I don't want to make this a runny mixture. So I just added a little bit of water. I just want to check the consistency before I add more. And next I'm going to add some chopped coriander leaves. And if you like your roti to be a little bit spicy, you can also add some green chilies. I'm just adding a little bit of more water because I want this to be slightly thinner. So here I am adding some green chilies to the mixture. And once you mix everything, that's your batter. So now let's heat up a pan, and the pan needs to be very hot, otherwise your roti is going to stick to the pan. So I just sprayed a little bit of oil, and then I'm going to take one big ladle of the batter and very gently make this into a circle like this. So what I like to do is heat up the pan on high before I put the batter in, and once it's heated up, turn the heat to medium and then start making my roti. So that way I can make sure that the pan is hot. So once you've spread out the roti, you can make this as thick or as thin as you want. And each side needs to be done for about a minute or so. So once one side is done, just gently flip it over to the other side and let that side heat and cook for a minute or so as well. And if you want the rotis to be softer and not so crispy, then you can also put a lid on the pan while it's cooking. That makes it softer. And once it's done, just take it out. And I find that this is best served when it's just right out of the pan, but you can also put this in a hot case to make sure that everything is nice and hot when you serve it. And that's really it. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Just a couple of tips is that the batter is very, very forgiving. So if you find that you're getting holes like this when you're making it, just keep going. This is a very, very forgiving batter. Just keep going and fill the holes. Do it very gently, and it'll turn out to be nice and smooth again. And another tip is if your pan is not hot enough, then the batter will stick to the pan. So just make sure that you take it out, and then after the one that's stuck to the pan is taken out, just scrape off the remainder from the pan and just keep going again after you wipe it with a paper towel.